So the yarn that I'm using for this project is by Yarn Bee called Bambootiful, and this color is Cognac. And the weight of this yarn is a 3 light. Now I want to note that I have not tried making this tank top in anything bigger or smaller than the 3 light, so I'm not sure how that would turn out or look. And also for the size that I'm making, I used 2 skeins of this. If you're going to make anything bigger, you'll definitely want 3 or more, because I just barely got by with 2. I had just a little bit of yarn left over, and this is 4 ounces. And the yard is 257 yards. So that's the yarn, and then for the hook size that I'm using is a 3.75 size. So I have a total of 44 chains here, and this 22 going down with a stitch marker in the 22nd chain, and then 22 coming up with a stitch marker in the first chain of that coming up. So these are going to be where we are increasing to create that V shape. If we look right here on this sweater, so it's 22 and then 22, and when I bring my increase, it's going to make it 23 and 23. So if you want a bigger size, this is a small. If you're going to want a bigger size, you just add more chains. And for a small, this is about 15.5 from armpit to armpit. Now I joined at the 9th section, which I go by sections. I don't necessarily look at it as rows, just because it's kind of easier to go by sections. So the 9th section here at this single crochet, the first one is where I joined. You can join wherever, but I will show you how to do all this. Also, I want to point out how I kind of sized this up to know where I wanted to join my armpit at, is as I'm working this. Now obviously the strap isn't going to be there yet, but I'm kind of taking the 2 corner pieces here and placing them on my chest where I know I'm going to want them sitting, and then just kind of checking as I'm working, as I was working, to where I was going to want the armpit to start at. So you'll just keep placing it against your chest where you're going to want this to sit, and then you'll figure out where you're going to want your armpit hole to start, where you're going to want to join. So I just want to point that out. So to get started, I'm going to chain 1, and this counts as my turning chain. And now into the back bump of the 2nd chain from my hook, I'm going to do a single crochet. And now single crochet into the back bump of every chain up to the stitch marker. And I will show you how to increase. Okay, so I am at my 2 stitch markers, and this next one, well, next 2 are going to be my increases. So I'm going to remove those, and then do 2 single crochets into this next stitch. 1, 2. And in that second single crochet is where I'm going to put my stitch marker for the increase of the next row. So again, in this next one, 2 single crochets. Go. 2. And so I'm putting my stitch marker into the first single crochet of that increase. And so now into the next stitch, single crochet, and continue to single crochet all the way to the end. So I'm at the end of the row now, and I have now a total of 23 single crochets because of the increase. So for the next row, I'll be increasing, and I will have a total of 24 on each end. So go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and into that very first stitch, do a single crochet. And now single crochet all the way to your stitch markers to do your increase. Okay, so I'm at my increases. I'm going to remove those stitch markers. And again, 2 single crochets into this one. And then putting your stitch marker into that second single crochet. And now 2 single crochets in the next. Putting your stitch marker right there in the first single crochet, so it's right next to your other stitch marker. And now continue to single crochet to the end of the row. So when you've gotten to the end of the row, you're going to turn your work, and this is where we're going to start the double treble crochet. So you're going to put your hook into that very first stitch, yarn over, pull up, and you have 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2, and now chain 3. So this counts as your first double treble. And if you want to go ahead and put a stitch marker right there into the top chain, just so you don't miss it when you come back around, go ahead and do that. And so to do the double treble crochet, we're going to yarn over 3 times. So you have 4 loops on your hook. Go into that next stitch, yarn over and pull up, and now yarn over and pull through 2. Now yarn over, pull through 2 more, yarn over, pull through 2 more, and 2 loops left, so yarn over and pull through those 2. And that's your actual double treble crochet. So again, yarn over 3 times, go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So go ahead and do that all the way to where you're ready to do your increase. Okay, so I've made it to my increases. Take these 2 out and 2 into this next one. Go ahead and put a stitch marker in. And now 2 into the next one. And put my stitch marker into that one right next to my other stitch marker. It's right there. And now just continue on to the end, and I'll show you how to do the next row. So when you've gotten to the end of the row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and single crochet into that very first stitch. And now single crochet all the way to your stitch markers to do your increases. Okay, so I'm at my increases. Take those out. Next one. And then carry on all the way down to the end. So when we get to the end, we're going to put our final single crochet into the top of that chain 3. Kind of get your hook through there. Okay. And now chain 1, turn your work, single crochet into that very first stitch, and you're going to continue single crocheting 2 more rows of this for a total of 3 rows of single crochet. And you just keep doing it the same way, increasing when you get to your stitch markers, and then get to the end, chain 1, turn. Okay, so I am done with that 3rd row of single crochets, and I'm ready to start my double treble crochet row. So turn your work, and how you start that again is go into that very first stitch, yarn up, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 3. And remember, this counts as 1, and at the end of the next row, you are going to go into the top of this 3rd chain. And so now 1, 2, 3, go into that next stitch, yarn over, or put your hook through, yarn over, pull up, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2. 1, 2, 3, go through 2, go through 2, and 2. So you just keep doing this all the way to your stitch markers and do your increase, and then carry on all the way to the end. And then you'll be ready for your next section of the 3 rows of single crochet. So how I like to do this, so I have this here, and so I'm going to continue this repeat to my 10th section, which will be a double treble row. So like I said, I like to count these as sections just because it's easier. And so when I get to the 10th section, this is my last actual increase row. And so the first row of my single crochet of the 11th section is where I'm going to start decreasing on the ends. We'll still be increasing in the middle, to create this point, but in order to keep it from growing so that it fits, it goes straight down and it fits right, I'm going to start decreasing on the ends. So when I get done with the 10th section, I'll come back and show you how you will start your decrease rows and sections. So I've reached my 10th section and I'm ready to start doing my decreases. I have 41 stitches on both sides, so that is going to continue to be my stitch count all the way down. So to get started, I'll zoom in here. Going to chain 1, turn your work, go into that very first stitch and do your single crochet. And now we're going to skip this next stitch, and that's going to be our decrease, and go into the next one and single crochet. And now single crochet all the way and do your regular increase, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm at the end now and I have 2 stitches left. So I'm going to skip this one and go into the top of that chain 3. Now chain 1, turn, single crochet into that first stitch, and again skipping the next one and going into the one after that, and continuing to single crochet, and again doing your increases as normal. And then when you get to the end of this row, you're going to again skip this stitch and go into the last. And that's how we're going to do every single crochet row from here on out, is skipping that second stitch, going into the one next to it. And when you come back to the end, skipping and going into the last one. So every single crochet row, that is going to be our decrease from here on out. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then I will show you how to do the decreases for the double trebles. Okay, so I'm at the end of my third single crochet decrease row, and now I'm ready to start my double treble decrease row. So to do that, I'm going to turn, go into that very first stitch there, just like normal, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2. And now just chain 2. So you're not chaining 3. And now yarn over 3 times, go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, go through 2. And so that's your joined stitch on this. That is how you are decreasing for the double trebles on your start chain. So you're going to do that every double treble row from here on out. And if you want to put a stitch marker right here in the very top of that stitch so that you don't miss it on your way back, because we won't be going into one of the chains. So go ahead and do that. And now just do your regular double trebles and do your regular increase. And I'll meet you at the end to show you how to join the 2 at the end. So I'm at my last 2 stitches here, and how I'm going to do the decrease on this end is join 2 double crochets, or 2 double trebles together. So yarn over 3 times as normal. I'll go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull up, now yarn over, pull through 2, just as normal, pull through 2, pull through 2, oops, and then stop. So you have 2 loops left. Now yarn over twice, so you have 4 loops. Go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up, now yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, oops, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through 2. So you've just joined those 2 together. So now chain 1, turn, and you'll start your single crochet row. Go into that first stitch, do your single crochet. Now remember, skip this next one and go into the one after it. And just carry on like that, and I will meet you at the end of the row to show you how to do the decrease. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row now, and I have 3 stitches left. I'm going to go into this one, and now I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to go into the top of that joined stitch. Just like that. And now chain 1, turn, and single crochet into that first one, skip, go into the next one, and that is how you are going to do your decrease rows from here on out. So I am going to do 8 more. Let me go ahead and I'm going to do 8 more sections to make a total of 21 sections. So I want to note that my very last one is going to be single crochet rows, but I'm only going to do 2. So I'm not doing 3 like normal. I'm only doing 2 at the bottom, just like I only did 2 at the top. So go ahead and carry on for whatever length that you want. And then you're going to make a second panel just like you made this one. So you have 2 for your front and back. And then when I get that made up, I will show you how we're going to sew them together. Okay, so I have both of my panels done, and now I'm ready to sew them together. So how I do that is bringing both front sides together and then turning and stitching from the top to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to be starting at the 9th section to join, which is going to be the beginning of the single crochet section. And I want to note that I'm going to be doing the double trebles a certain way in order to kind of make it look clean when you flip it around. And the 10th row, the 10th section is going to be a little different because we haven't hit our decrease there. So this one will be a little different how I go through versus when I get to the decrease row, just to point that out. So for our first single crochet section that I'm starting at, section 9, we're not going to go into the holes because I don't like, I mean you can, but I'm not going to. I don't like the way that it looks on the other side. So I'm going to go into this kind of right here, right in between this knot kind of thing. And then on the other side, you'll kind of see these 2 strands. I'm going to go right there through that. And then go ahead and tie, knot, and then I'm going to go through that one more time. And now I'm going to come over here, kind of see these 2 strands. I'm going to go right there through that, and then there is kind of another knot here on this side. Oops. Just going to kind of get through that. And then I go through the side of that, like that. And then right here, same thing. Okay, and so now here we're at the 10th row before our decrease. So go right there into those 2, and then you'll kind of see the 2 strands from our single crochet of that one. Go through that. And now you'll see the back bumps of this double treble. Go through one of the back bumps, and then the chains, we're going to go through just that side of the chain. So not through both loops, but just that one side. And then the next back bump, and then right here. Okay. And then the next back bump, and that chain. Okay, and so now we're at the single crochet rows again. Go right there through that knot, and then these 2 strands. And then 2 strands, and then go through that knot. And then kind of get through this knot and get through this knot right there. Okay, so now we are at the decrease of these two double trebles. So we're going to do it a little differently. So I'm going to go right there into that like normal, right there into that like normal. And again, the first back bump like normal, second side strand, oops, whoops, that second bump, and again, right here. Now, that third bump, we're not going to go just through that. We're actually going to kind of go through the side here and grab two strands, and then we're going to go ahead and go right here into this hole. I'm just going to go right there into that. Okay, and now again, your single crochet, rows, kind of getting in there like that, and then these two little strands kind of find. If you want to just go through the holes or really join however you want to, that's totally fine too. This is just kind of my personal preference and how I feel looks the best. But you are more than welcome to do it however you like. Just continue to do this all the way down. And then do the other side. And then I will show you how to do the armholes and the straps. So this is what the side seam is going to look like when it's sewn together. If I get in closer here. So yeah, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so now we're starting on the armholes, and we're going to be working with our work right side out. So I'm also going to be starting on the side that has my double trebles. So not the starting chain side, but the actual ending double treble. So we're going to be working in slip stitches with this. And it's very particular in order, there's a very particular way I do it in order to keep it really straight edged. I've tried a few different ways, and some of them just kind of like make the work kind of crooked and funky looking. So I found this way is the best. So what we're going to do is go right here into this hole. And then yarn over and pull up and pull that through. So there's your first slip stitch. Now you'll turn your work, and those back bumps that we were sewing into, we're also going to be stitching into. So go ahead and do a slip stitch right there, keeping it kind of loose, and then into the next one. Oops. Okay, and now you'll see where you have, let me get my needle here. We're going to be just going through this one strand right here. So that one strand. Oops, oh, the stringy yarn. There we go. Okay, and then these next three show you right here. We're going to go through, here's a back bump, okay, and then you'll see there's 2 strands right here. You're just going through the first strand, the one facing you, and then this bump right here, and then you'll come over and through this back bump, this back bump, this back bump, and again this one strand facing you, and then over here this back bump. See if I can get a little closer so you can really see. Okay, so again, back bump of the double treble, back bump of the double treble, back bump of the double treble, and then this strand right here, and then this bump right here, this strand facing you, and then again this bump right here, and then back bump of the double treble, back bump of the double treble, back bump of the double treble, and strand facing you. So just keep doing that all the way up. Leaving your slip stitches kind of loose. You don't want them really tight. So just keep doing that, and I will meet you at the top of this and show you how to do the chain and then connect on the back side. Okay, so I'm going to go into this last stitch right here, the very front one facing me. And now I'm going to chain 34. Okay, so I've chained 34, and now I'm going to turn my work here, and we're going to start working into the back side, which is where we have our starting stitches of the double trebles. So it's going to be a little different going into these ones, but I will show you. So first I'm going to join, which I'm going to join right here into this first stitch, this first hole on this side. Join and pull up there. Also kind of make sure this isn't twisted. Looks good. Okay, so here's how we're going to be working into these. Try and get a little close here. There we go. So we've just joined right here. Now there's a strand right here. We're going to be working into just that. And then we're going to come over here, and you have that single crochet that you did your 3 chains afterwards. You're going to go just into that side of it. So not both of them, but just that side. And then this chain going in just that side. This chain going in just that side. And then the chain 3 that we had went through with our single crochet row, we're going to go through this, and this is going to be a little tricky to get into because it is tight, but you're only wanting to go through this one stitch, this one strand. So not both of them, just this one. And then you're going to come over here, You kind of see these two, and you're just going through the back of that. And then there's kind of a bump right here, which was your turning chain for your single crochet. You're going just through that back bump, and then come over here, and you kind of see these 3 strands. Well, probably see these two better. There's one right here, and you're going to be going through that. And then again, come over here and go through just that side, just that side, just that side, and again, the top of that chain 3, just going through that side. And then next stitch, that side, then your back bump, and then you'll see right here, just that. And so you'll just repeat that. Okay, so go ahead and go through that one strand. And now the single crochet right there. Go into that. Oh, I didn't get all the strands on that. Okay. And now the chain. Oop. And that next chain. And then that chain 3. Try and get it on that side. There we go. Wait, did I get all the... Nope, I missed a strand. There we go. And now, right here. Now that back bump. Okay, so I'm at the end where I have 2 stitches left to go through. You'll see this one kind of has 2 strands. I'm going to go through both of those actually. So right there. And now this next one kind of just has 1 strand. So I'm just going to go right there through that. And then I'm going to join. Kind of pull that there and then cut. Pull that snug. And so that's how you do that. So go ahead and do this to the other side, and I will show you how to come back and do the slip stitch and how to do the next row of the strap. Okay, so now we are ready for the next step, which is slip stitching right along the front and back here, but also coming along and putting in our second row of the strap. So how to do that is I'm going to come right here, I hook right there through, grab that loop, and I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to go into the next loop, yarn over, pull through, and then pull that loop into that one. And now slip stitch, all the way to your strap, and I will show you what to do next. Okay. Okay, so I'm at the very last stitch right here. I'm going to go into that. And now we're going to be working into the back bumps of this chain, and we're going to go into that very first chain and we're going to do a half double crochet. And then half double crochet into the back bump of every chain until you get to the last one. And I will show you how to go from there. Okay, so I'm at my last chain. I'm going to go through that. And now, right here into the top of this stitch, I'm going to go back to the slip stitches. Oops. And so that's how you're going to do the other side. Slip stitch into this very last stitch, and then half double crochets, and then I'll meet you back around to join, and we will do the final row on the strap. So how we're going to do the slip stitch row for the straps is you're going to go into that very first half double crochet, so the top of that, and then grab that loop. Now you're going to pull that through, and then you're going to go into the top of the next stitch. Yarn over, pull that through. And now yarn over, well, not yarn over, but take that loop and go right there into that. And now go into every stitch and do a slip stitch. And when you get to the very last half double crochet, I will show you how to end this row. Okay, so I've just went through my last half double crochet. So how I'm going to end this is pull my hook out and then go into the back side of that slip stitch next to it. And now put that loop on my hook and pull that through. And then grab the yarn, pull that through, and here is where I will cut, and then pull that. And so that's how you will do that row of the strap. And then you're done with the straps. Go ahead and we'll do the other one, and then that is the end of this sweater. So you go ahead and tie in, sew in all of your loose strands, and it's complete. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you really enjoy making this sweater. And if you're not already, please subscribe and give this video a like and a share. Thank you.